Assalamu alaikum. The month of Dhul Hijjah is approaching us. So we still have our memories fresh from 2 months ago at the end of Ramadan when we had the big chaos, and there were a lot of people upset about why there was a delay in announcing the Eid al-Fitr, and why it wasn't everyone had the same day, etc. So I would like to share some information with you. I also have some good news, and inshallah you would like this analysis interesting, inshallah. So spare some time for this, inshallah. So let me start with some reminders. So one reminder is that we started month of Ramadan on May 6th, and that was same day for everyone across America that we started. There was no chaos, no fight, etc. Then last year, in 2018, we had Eid-ul-Fitr, which started on June 15. It was everyone had the same day, alhamdulillah, across North America. And the previous year, actually, 2017, that was best of all, when we had all three events, beginning of Ramadan, Eid-ul-Fitr, Eid-ul-Adha. It occurred one single day for everyone across North America, and we did not have any chaos or fight on that. So, and going forward, the next date coming up, Eid-ul-Adha, inshallah, it would be announced on August 1st that August 2nd is the first of Dhul Hijjah, which also means that the August 11th Sunday will be Eid-ul-Adha, and this will happen for everyone in North America. There will not be any chaos or fighting. One other thing before I move on, so I can make a point, inshallah, is that next year in 2020, we have both events, which is Eid-ul-Fitr and Eid-ul-Adha. They will be celebrated by everyone same day, and there will not be any chaos and fight. Now, as we know, there were a lot of chaos, and there were a lot of angry brothers and sisters last end of Ramadan. That especially the anger were directed towards the moonsighting committees. For example, from Toronto perspective, there was a anger towards the Crescent Committee of Toronto, that why they took so long to announce on Monday evening, Monday the 3rd evening, why they took so long, and why some brothers obviously were also questioning why they were not they did not announce June 4 for Eid rather than they did June 5. So here's my question for you to ponder upon, inshallah, and then I'll move on with some interesting analysis for you, inshallah. Is that if they really want to divide the ummah, then why are they actually doing it selectively? Why not every event, every year, etc.? As I just gave you the dates as a reminder, and I also gave you dates for next coming up, that our Eid-ul-Adha and both Eid and next year will be the same day. Then why is that happening like this? So we must understand the causes, really, and once we understand that, inshallah, then our problem, partially at least, will be gone. Or the problem that we have where we actually fight with each other, it will be gone. And at some point, inshallah, we'll be able to have a unified day, which we should and which we can. So, so having said that, what is the root cause of the problem we must understand? So let me actually shed some light on some little bit historical point of view. Several years ago, like around in the 80s, I believe, Saudi Arabia came up with a process of announcing the moonsighting, and what they do is for 9 months of the year, they actually they don't do any moonsighting as per officially, they don't do any moonsighting, and they just have a calendar. For the 3 months, which is Ramadan, Eid-ul-Fitr and Eid-ul-Adha, they actually announce a moon based on what they say that they did a moon sighting. So, and in 2006 and 2007 time frame, an organization within North America, it's called Fiqh Council of North America, came up with a criteria, and they also announced a calendar, which basically, they don't say it, but all people of knowledge will tell you this, who have understanding of this, they know 100% that what Fiqh Council North America is doing essentially is adopting what Saudi process is. Okay, all they're doing is just adopting Saudi process, and they're putting their own label on it, and they're announcing a date on it. Now, you might think, if you don't have complete knowledge of this, you would say that, of course, sure, that sounds good. Why don't we just follow Saudi Arabia? We can, but there's a problem. What is the problem? So the problem is, if I give you some scientific reasons, hopefully you will understand that, and at least I hope it triggers some interest in you to do some more research. And whatever I'm going to tell you, this is based on scientific facts. It's not something one person, this person who's addressing with you, is coming up and telling you. Obviously not. It is scientific knowledge that we all have. All the scholars, all the scientific community, they will tell you this. So, okay, let me just go over quickly regarding Saudi process. Saudi, the issue we have with that process, I should say. So, for the month of Ramadan and Eid-ul-Fitr and Eid-ul-Adha, they announce a moon sighting, that they have sighted the moon, while the moon is not sightable as per scientific data. This is even like the claim, I shouldn't say the claim, even the Jeddah Astronomical Society say exactly the same thing, that the moon sighting announcements that come from Saudi Arabia are highly questionable. Okay, not just questionable, it is just a mild word that I'm using actually. So what is fundamentally wrong here? Why we question this? Okay, I'll give you two scientific reasons, and third very specific reason with June 3 to make the case, so you understand. Okay, now in general, I will tell you what happens scientifically. When the birth of moon occurs, it requires certain amount of hours before it is sightable, so that the light of the sun falls onto it and it's reflected to us on Earth and we can sight it. And that requires a certain number of hours. Typically, with a powerful telescope, this time is longer than 15 hours. Longer than, okay, I'm saying it purposely because there's a lot of other fundamentals involved, a lot of other factors involved. But I'm saying it's longer than 15 hours with a telescope. Okay, with the naked eye, it's not visible less than 24 hours. More than 24 hours, definitely. At least, like I would say personally, based on my experience and all those who do year after year, who do moon sighting, above 28 hours. Above 28 hours, okay? With the telescope, greater than 15. Without telescope, with the naked eye, or with small binoculars that we use, longer than 28 hours, okay? So like 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, that kind of hours it takes. Okay, that's one scientific fact. Nobody's making it up, it's the fact, okay? Secondly, if you look at the visibility curve when the moon becomes visible, after the birth of moon, it becomes visible in the Western Hemisphere before it becomes visible in the Eastern Hemisphere, and I'm talking on the first day of the moon. And why it is because of the age of the moon, the number of hours that it takes. Okay, it is too early in the eastern locations, Pakistan, Indonesia, Saudi Arabia, all those regions, even Africa, Europe, all those regions, to be able to sight the moon. Okay, now in Western Hemisphere, sometimes depending on when the moon was born, how early in the day the moon was born, it may become visible. Okay, now those are the two reasons. That also means that if the moon is sighted, really sighted at a location, that means the moon will be sightable on a location west from it. So if the moon was really sighted in Saudi Arabia, that means it will definitely be sighted locations on the west. Not just sighted, some locations it will be sighted a lot more easily, number one. Secondly, it will be sighted by many people, not just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 people, but by many people. Okay, now June 3rd, specific example, June 3rd, 2019, what really happened? The birth of moon occurred 1 p.m. Saudi time, that when the moon is black. The sunset occurred 7 p.m. Saudi time. Okay, what is the time frame, the gap between that? 6 hours. Now that 6 hours, it will never be visible. Even with telescope, it will never be visible. Now let me tell you what University of Texas Naval Observatory says. University of Texas Naval Observatory. Mind you, it's not a Muslim organization. mind you, Naval Observatory is something which is kind of an authority on astronomical matters. Why? Because entire shipping industry, as you know, it runs on it for hundreds of years, and they have done most amount of research. Now what they say on their website after doing analysis is that anyone claiming sighting of the moon less than 22 hours, it's highly questionable. Less than 22 hours. So that should be significant for everyone. Now, on Monday, June 3, what really happened? As I said, 6 hours old moon, sunset occurring 7 p.m., the moon set occurring, and I said moon set, the moon also sets, just like sunsets. The moon set occurring at literally 6 minutes after sunset. Now, on the first day of the moon, also keep in mind, the moon is not sightable before sunset. If somebody tells you that they sighted the moon before sunset on the first day, I think that would be a joke. It's not, I think I should say. People of knowledge would tell you it's a joke. Okay? Unless the moon was really old, and how old could it be on the first day? How old could it be? Maximum 24 hours, right? Less than that. So I am saying and that can never happen for Saudi Arabia, that the moon was 24 hours old. Pretty much, I should say, okay? Now, on June 3rd, moon is 6 hours old in Saudi Arabia, and at the time of the moon sunset, 7 p.m., half of the moon has already set. Okay, the sun has set, half of the moon has already set. And imagine, and guess where the crescent is? The crescent is on the right side of the moon at the bottom. So if you look at the disk of the moon, the crescent formation occurs on the bottom right side of the moon always on the first day. Now that portion of the moon has already set for Saudi Arabia from that reference point. How can you sight the moon, which is not even there? Okay? Now, I hope you understand the problem we have with the Saudi sighting and why they announce it. You can ask them. Okay? You can ask them. But we know, the people of knowledge know what's going on. Okay? But people of the masses, the awam, the common people, you have to understand what's going on. Otherwise, the problem will not be resolved. Okay? Because you have to put the pressure to the right place where it belongs. Why I'm saying it? Because on 29th of Ramadan, on the 29th day of the month, the big pressure that's generated, that actually takes away a lot of people. Okay? A lot of scholars are not able to withstand that pressure and they give in. They give in. Okay? Now, let me point out, I'm not sure if I mentioned the Fiqh Council of North America before, but Fiqh Council of North America came up with a process back in 2006 and 2007, and their justification was that they wanted to bring unity in the Ummah. And guess what? So many years later, still there is no unity. As you know, on Monday, June 19, there was a big fight across North America. There is no unity. There was no unity because unity cannot occur on a hollow concept. Unity cannot occur when you skip the Shariah, when you miss the most important aspect, which is the sunnah behind all this. And let me explain what I'm saying. You might say, oh, this guy is making up too much stuff. I am not making up anything. I'm actually coming with all the research and all the scholarly evidence that we have. So what Fiqh Council did, they essentially adopted what Saudis are doing without putting a label on it. Okay? So this approach, I can label it that is a mindset behind it is that if you cannot beat them, join them. That's exactly what it is. Okay, because a lot of people, a lot of scholars, a lot of organizations, a lot of countries have been pursuing Saudi Arabia to fix their process, but they don't budge. They do not budge. So now, in the name of unity, this is what happened is that Fiqh Council in North America essentially is creating this turbulence by accepting what Saudis are doing. Now here's what I want to tell you. Recently I was also, I watched a couple of times actually, not once, few times, I watched a video lecture from Dr. Yasir Qadhi. He's very famous, he's very good and I respect him a lot. He's a great man. And I also respect every scholar in the Fiqh Council of North America. So they came up, and Dr. Yasir Qadhi was actually trying to promote the Fiqh Council's process, as he recently joined the Fiqh Council himself, and as he says himself that previously he was opposed to it, but now he's actually part of it, Fiqh Council of North America. So let me say a few things about it. And again, I've watched his video very closely, attentively. I watched it a few times. So a couple of things I could tell you. One thing, he's contradicting himself. People of knowledge, people who know this process inside out, they will tell you that he has contradicted himself not once, few times. Okay. Now, a couple of things he said. One thing I want to point out, he said, to make a point of Fiqh Council of North America, he said that the calculation gives you yaqeen. Calculation gives you certainty, and that's why we should follow this. And he was also saying the other people, those people on the other side, meaning the moonsighting organizations or who actually wait, he was saying that they do not follow calculation and they're against calculation. Now, both of these things, let me speak about it. First of all, nobody's against calculation. Nobody's against calculation. You should know that. Even the moonsighting organizations, they have calendars. They come up with calendars. They're not against calculation. What they want to do, what they try to do, is they come up with an expected date based on the scientific data, and on 29th day, they confirm that, which is the Sunnah process. Okay, meaning they collect the shahada, they collect the testimonials across different places, all over, across the globe actually, because they have their contacts. They have a very strong network all over. I am part of the network, for example, and I know people who are part of the network. For example, moonsighting.com, if you know, I'm part of moonsighting.com also. You can see my reports in there, and there are many other people who do that, who report to them firsthand. The ICOP is another organization, which is a scientific body, which also does the same thing. So there are people who are doing it, who are doing moonsighting month after month, year after year, and we actually report our findings, we report our testimonials, whatever we have of our results, we report it. So so this is the difference. Moonsighting organizations, for example, Crescent Committee, they also come up with a date based on scientific information, scientific data, and they announce it. Similarly, the Fiqh Council announced it. The difference is Fiqh Council announced a date based on so-called yaqeen. This is their own words. I'm not making it up. Based on so-called yaqeen. Why I said so-called, I should say. So-called is my word, because I'm going to explain to you. So-called is because if you really want yaqeen, if you want certainty, then that yaqeen for Eid-ul-Fitr, for example, let me be very specific so it's easier. Eid-ul-Fitr based on yaqeen was June 5, not June 4. Yaqeen, yes. The yaqeen that the Saudi Arabia will do on 4, yes, absolutely. But the yaqeen or certainty, absolute certainty that the moonsighting will occur and the Eid will fall on was June 5, not 4. June 5. So this is the difference. So this is based on the Fiqh Council's process is based on a hollow concept of yaqeen. And it is not that the calculations or other people are against calculations. It is not true. Everyone is following calculation. The moonsighting organizations, when they come up with the calendar, they're actually following a calculation. Okay. Now the only difference, as I said before, is they want to make sure the moon is also sighted, and the moon every year, not once, every year, it actually happens the same day which was announced as per the scientific data. Now, if you want to follow the science, if you want to follow the Shariah, the Quran and Sunnah, then you will follow the moon sighting, because this is where you're getting yaqeen, this is where you're getting the Sunnah method, and this is where you're getting absolute scientific calculated forecast when it is going to be. Again, as I said, the Eid-ul-Adha, as per yaqeen, is going, inshallah, is going to happen on August 11, which is Sunday. And next year, as per yaqeen, May 24 will be your Eid-ul-Fitr, and August 31 will be Eid-ul-Adha. This is as per yaqeen. This is as per calculated data. But the moonsighting organizations, what they will do as their duty is that they're going to sit down and they're going to collect testimonies, shahada, from all over, and then they will actually make a final determination. So nobody misses their mandatory fast. But remember, the roza, the fasting is mandatory, and you cannot even skip one day because you have all these scientific data. So you want to follow Yaqeen, you want to follow Quran and Sunnah, then you will follow a date which is scientifically accurate and which is accurate as per the shahada, witnesses, testimonies, and inshallah then there will not be any fight or chaos. My request to everyone is, please, if you really want to put pressure on Fiqh Council of North America so they make it right. We don't want to go after Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia is a different country, it's a different region, different country, different continent. Yes, it is a country in our heart. Yes, they should do it right. But first, we're going to have to fix our own house. We have to put our house in order. Once we have it, inshallah, we can all put pressure on Saudi Arabia. One day, inshallah, they will fix it. No matter what, one day. This is my yaqeen, this is my iman, and this is the yaqeen and iman of many people like me, inshallah, across the globe, that the problem that is generated from Saudi Arabia will be gone. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.